Hello, I'm JW. Today we've got this little junction box here, and it's made of metal, and the wiring coming out of it is also metal covered. So let's have a closer look at this item. Now this is a metal junction box, as you can see there, and you'll be able to see the actual description on the top there. We've got Henley wiring system, universal box, and for some reason a little delta symbol on there. British make, patent number 223516/24, and on the back there just plain, basically with the 4 actual threaded screws coming through from inside. Single fixing there for the lid, and they've got the remains of various bits of wire coming out here, and these are actually lead covered wiring, and that's hence why you can sort of bend them and they'll stay in the position you've put them in. And you can see here where it's just been literally chopped off where it was removed from the building it was installed in. Now, of course, lead covered wiring went out a considerable time ago. It's probably pre-war, as in sort of 1930s or 40s possibly. And the primary reason for that is, of course, the fact that lead is incredibly expensive, and encasing your single core wires, which these are in chunks of lead, obviously was extremely costly. And we'll just take the lid off of this one, and that's just a plain lid inside with the single fastening. Notice that the fastener is actually a hollow piece with a thread internally, and then it actually screws over that threaded post in the centre. So here's the inside, and see we've got some ceramic connection blocks here. It's a bit grubby and dusty, and just the screw terminals in there. And these are single core wires, so of course it's just that one connecting to these two, and that's just a sort of straight through type of connection. And the earth connection on this is actually the outer covering, or the lead in this case, hence it's clamped under here, of course, to provide continuity between the various wires coming in. And you can see the earth connections here, just with the wires placed under there with this additional piece here, which say just a rubber and fabric insulated item. And see the rubber is sort of broken down and crumbling away to dust there. Now, lead is a reasonably soft metal, so just cut into it with this steel blade. See, it will cut reasonably easily. Nevertheless, it's of course hardly something that's called convenient next to plastic or rubber insulation. Now, just see if I can cut into this, just score around the lead covering. And then we should be able to just remove that, and revealing the single conductor inside. This is probably for lighting circuit, bearing in mind the fairly thin dimensions of the wire. There it is in there, and again if we scrape that there, a bit you could see on the camera there, but that is actually copper. It's just tinned on the outside, so it has a sort of silvery colour. But say if it's scratched, it is actually copper. Don't think that shows on the camera very well, but nevertheless it is copper coloured. And then the actual lead covering, you see, is quite thick in terms of the actual metal there. And then you've just got the insulating sleeving over the actual conductor. So of course it's earth on the outside, and then your single conductor insulated in the centre. Now just so I can open this little piece open and see what we've got inside. You see there the lead just peels away from the outside of that, and there's our inner insulation piece, and it's essentially a rubber, or it was rubber once, inner piece there, and it just has that fabric wrapping over the top, so it's sort of a 3-layer type of construction. So you've got your rubber covering, which unfortunately has of course perished away and a bit crumbly now. Then you've got your fabric covering over that, and then of course the lead piece over the top of that. So it's actually quite a durable method of wiring. Say even the age of this, which is probably 70, 80 years old plus, it's still probably reasonably intact there. Although say the rubber of course has deteriorated, but other than that, it's not the sort of thing that's going to really fall apart or anything. But so of course no one uses lead covered wiring anymore due to the massive cost of manufacturing it. And also these are only single covered wires, although you could get twin wires with the lead covering over as well. So a quick look there at some lead covered wiring, the Henley wiring system, obviously made by the company of that name. Other manufacturers probably were available. And say lead covered wiring hasn't been used for probably up to 70 plus years, and if there's any still in any buildings, it's well past its replacement date. As I say, the rubber inner insulation there tends to deteriorate and crumble away, and then of course you've got a basically a dead short between the inner conductor and the outer earth lead covering. And one thing to remember about lead is that it is a toxic metal, so if you obviously handle this, you need to wash your hands afterwards and don't go sticking them in your mouth or eating your sandwiches, so just remember that. But lead of course has a fairly high scrap value, so if you've got any old lead wiring, it's well worth cutting it up and taking it down to the local scrap merchants and selling it for a moderate amount of money. So until next time, thanks for watching.